week's blogging video is all about the biggest things to avoid in your blogging business and then just business in general. I have learned so much over the past 6 years, which is insane to think about. And there's a lot of things that I wish I would have never done. So without further ado, let's get into the things that I would absolutely avoid when blogging or in your business. We are first going to have my notes pulled up. We're first going to start with the biggest blogging mistakes. And just a quick 20-second intro on me. I have the blog by Sophia. We are now a 7-figure blog a year, which is insane. So we make well over $1 million from my blog. I've had it for 5 years now. I started when I was a sophomore in college, out of my dorm room, blah, blah, blah. If you watch my videos, you know I'm actually filming from home today because we have a team of, I think there's 8 of us now. And so the office is loud, which is why I'm here, which is a major pinch me moment. But for the biggest blogging mistakes, the first one, and I'm constantly getting comments on this, and just emails and so forth, is when should you actually publish your blog? Should you wait until you have 10 to 15 blog posts written so that it looks more professional, or should you do it right away? And I am a firm believer that you should be posting your blog posts immediately. Just to be real with you, no one is probably going to be reading your blog post unless you are putting it out on your Facebook or sending it to your mom or your brother or your sister or your best friend or whatever it is. And so I firmly stand behind that you should be publishing them right away because we want as much time as possible for Google to start ranking your posts. And if you upload them all at once, that could take you to write 15 blog posts. I mean, that could take you 3 months, 4 months. And that's 3 or 4 months that Google could be ranking you and giving you credibility in your niche, and you could be ranking a lot faster. So publish them right away. It's going to take a really long time for people to actually start reading your website and going to it naturally. And so I wouldn't be worried about it looking incomplete or unprofessional. The next biggest blogging mistake is something that I had no idea about was even a thing when I started my blog, but you have to have disclosures. And so I stand behind, well, not even stand behind, but it's really expensive, I'm sure, as you know, to hire a lawyer. And I didn't have that type of money to hire a lawyer in the beginning stages of my blog. And so I found this lawyer who started working specifically with bloggers and came up with templates at a way, way, way cheaper cost. Her name's Amira Law Blog. I will have the exact one in the description that I purchased. It's a bundle and has all the main things that you want, but it's super affordable, and you have to have these on your website for it to be legal, which I don't mess with legality, legalness at all. My constant thing that I say is I am not going to jail over this blog. I am not doing that. And so definitely something to think about. It's just something that wasn't even, I didn't even know you had to do it. So this is me telling you to think about those type of things with your blog. And the third biggest blogging mistake, this is more high level. Oh, I guess maybe not high, maybe the opposite of high level, but people get way too confident with what they can handle with their blog. When I started my blog, the only thing that I focused on for the first year was taking blogging courses and getting my blog posts on Pinterest, because I knew that I needed to get readers to my blog so I could apply for an ad agency, and the fastest way to do that is through Pinterest. I didn't start any other social medias. I really didn't focus on anything else. I didn't spend a lot of time writing my about page. I was so focused on, would this, with whatever I'm doing, would it make me money? And I think that people just go in being okay, I'm going to start a blog, I'm going to start a Pinterest, I'm going to start an Instagram, I'm going to start a TikTok, I'm going to do all of these things, and you get so burnt out, and it's just not helpful to your blog at all. So be strategic with what you can actually handle. when I started, I was a full-time college student. I was working full-time for like nannying, and I knew that I treated this like a full-time blog from the beginning, or a full-time job from the beginning, but like there's only so many hours in the day. So something to think about, and sometimes less is more, and I feel like that mindset is like huge in blogging. I would do 2 blog posts a week when I first started, and that's all that I could handle. And I knew that it was better for me to do consistently 2 blog posts a week than me doing 5 blog posts one week, none the next week, 3 blog posts the next week, and then none the next, you know what I mean? Like consistently 2 a week. Okay, moving on to the biggest mistakes in business. So I guess I'm gonna start actually like more simple. I guess this is kind of along the lines of like the disclosures for your blog, but when you start earning money, like you have to start thinking about taxes. And I think, I'm not an accountant, so don't hold me to this, but I think it's once you start making $600, you have to start putting money away from money on the side of taxes, which like with the job, your job's automatically putting those to the side. But with a blog, like you have to be mindful of that. And so in the beginning, I would put 30% of everything that I made over into like I started like a bank account specifically for taxes. And so I'd basically transition that over every single month. Now, unfortunately, it's a lot more because my overhead is low versus the amount of money we make, which is good, but don't even get me started on that one because I will just go on a tangent. But just be mindful that like taxes are a thing and you have to pay them. Okay, and then this one, so one of like the hardest things that I've had to learn is about hiring and just like how to go about hiring. If you are not even at this point in your business, again, sometimes less is more, so this like might not be applicable to you, but eventually it will be. I read the book 10-Hour Workweek, which really helped me like change my mindset on hiring. But there's so many things that I had to learn specifically like about it. Like in the beginning, I was so willy-nilly with just like taking people on and not having like a training regimen in place. And it like I ran into a lot of the time that people weren't taking it seriously because it is a fun job. So like people would take it more as like fun instead of like actual work. And so now we set up our things a lot more serious with our employees. They obviously sign a contract right away, and we have a complete onboarding process. We have paperwork, we have binders, we have buddies for them. I mean, it's like very nitty gritty in a way, so that we are setting the team up to know that when a new employee comes on, it is serious business. We are a fun group, but this is a job and we want it to be treated like a job. And also like one of the biggest things that I've learned, and I think this is just a common struggle for like startups and new businesses, is that we usually wait too long to hire people. And so by the time when we're hiring someone, we're like running around with our heads cut off type of situation. And so I'm really telling myself this because I need to know this, is that sometimes it's better to hire when you're like actually in a good spot so that you have the time to train them, versus how we kind of do it right now, where we're like, we have a team member starting next week, and we were just talking yesterday, we were like, we don't even have time to prepare for them because we're so busy. Like we need them so bad that we don't have time to get ready for them, which like that's an issue. So those are my top blogging and business mistakes thus far that you should avoid. I'm sure I'm gonna have a million more mistakes that occur in my career, so I should really just keep this as a series and keep adding on to it year after year. But I'd love to know in the comments what your biggest mistake is and the things that you wish that you would have avoided in the either beginning or something that you did last week, you know, who knows. Make sure you check out my blogging courses. We have 3: Perfecting Blogging, which goes over the like SEO, behind the scenes, exact strategies that we use on our actual website; Perfecting Pinterest, which goes over our exact strategies on Pinterest for getting hundreds of thousands of pages; and Perfecting Email, which is our super nitty gritty, very intense process for how we handle our email list and all the sequences and tags and all of that goes along with that. I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you at the next blogging video.